Hey guys, Sean Zim, the connection machine and host for the Network Marketing Insider, where I bring on guests that are in the spaces of network marketing, affiliate marketing, multi-level. Also been involved with speaking with crypto creators. And also now I'm on helping those that have school communities. And I want you to sit back. If you're watching us on YouTube or on the website, drop us a subscribe, like, comment where you're watching from, and hit that share button. And if you're listening to us on the audio verticals, please give us a review at the end. And don't forget to go to the description and have a connection call with my guests. Learn more about what they're sharing with you in this short 30-minute segment. We want you to make sure you take some notes, either actually physically or take some mental notes and implement what we're talking about. Let me bring on my next guest. We have Jessica. How are you?
Hello, I'm great. How are you, Sean?
I'm doing great. I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to drop some value with us today. And
Yeah.
I know some people have the fear of public speaking. And I asked you, you're like, no, I would love to be on. So without further ado, I always ask, Jessica, who are you? And why did you open up a school community?
Well, my name is Jessica Leibovich, and I've been public speaking my entire career as a chef. I'm a chef of almost 30 years. I'm an independent chef, so I've never gone the traditional route. I have always had my own freelance business that has been mostly focused on people and their health, nutritional work, self-healing, so people with illnesses. Also have worked with professional athletes or very high performers who really want to up level their longevity. And I did that for almost 27 years here in San Diego. And I started working on strategy, helping people more online instead of, me just being there doing it for them, showing more people how to do it for themselves. The work I do is highly customized. So, for example, it takes into account your likes, your dislikes, your culture, your restriction, your goals. There's no cookie cutter plan. And so, my school community that I opened, I really wanted a place, a hub where I could share all my information and really be able to connect with people in a healthy way. I've had a lot of Facebook groups over the years, and I've had groups of over 1,000 people, and it just, the connection is not there. And I also feel like sometimes there's a lot of negativity on social media, and you have to wade your way through that to get to helping people, and it's very distracting. And so school seemed perfect for me to do that. But I'm very new. I'm a baby school owner. I only have like 30 members right now, and I'm just learning all about it. And it's a totally different world than social media. And I actually love it. I love the connection. I love the positivity. I love how people on there really want to up level themselves and learn more and just be better people. I was happy to connect with you and, have your help.
Definitely. And those that are watching or listening, her community is called Divine Body Blueprint, and it will be in the description. You can definitely join it. Now, what was the first, I guess, contact that you had for school? Like, how did you get connected with school? Did you watch videos? Did you get a marketing?
It's funny. I actually joined a school community that I would say it kind of went viral in the school world. And it's, I don't know if they changed the name, but it was called Tube Empire, and it was how to grow your YouTube channel quickly. So I had known about school and I had heard about it, but it seemed so different to me. I don't know. When I first heard about it, I'm like, this seems so different. It's like a whole nother world. I didn't really understand it. And so I was a little bit averse to joining. But then when I was invited to Tube Empire, it was $100 lifetime fee. And I figured, that's worth it because I have a YouTube channel that I really enjoy. I love public speaking, and I think YouTube is a great way to get out there and teach, and just a great way to build your brand. And I was struggling with knowing what to do with YouTube. And so I joined Tube Empire, and it actually helped me a lot. Really helped me. They had a lot of information on like AI, editing and things like that, that I would have never known had I not joined this community. I made some great networking connections. And then the Tube Empire also started something called School Empire. So he helps people grow their school community as well. So that was my sort of foray into it. And then I had other, like a coach I worked with, she had a school community. It seemed like a lot of work to me when I first joined, and I wasn't sure if, the ROI was going to be there. However, I'm really glad that I did do it, because I feel like now I have a place where all my information is stored. It's, all my strategy, all my videos. And I'm not happy with the way I uploaded it at first. Now that I'm seeing other people's communities, I'm thinking, oh, I need to lay it out a little differently. But it's all there, and I'm going to be working on it.
No, it's great. Yeah, a lot like Jessica was saying, networking in other communities can definitely help, because then, as she's saying, she's taking a look at what they have in the classroom and comparing what she has. I've done the same thing with mine. You're always looking to make things a little bit better. My mindset, I found, it's making sure people stay and want to come back. And if they can keep, coming back every day and they're engaging, there's got to be a reason. And someone said it recently: what happens if your school just shut down? Would people be uproared, or would they be upset? And if you can't answer that, that's how you have to train your mind and re-strategize how to get people really hyped up to want to show up every day and, make friendships, show up to some kind of events here and there, not commit so much time, but at least just show up and do something.
Yeah, be interested and engaged.
Right.
The one thing about the YouTube group I was in, he said something. He said, you don't have a group if you're the group. So, you have to have a group where people are engaged and talking with each other. And, it's like, it can't just be you showing up every day and teaching, because it's not really about that. It's more about creating this community. And so that is really, for me, what I've been having to sort of change my brain a little bit and figure that part of it out. That group was great because, people would post their videos, and then everybody would go watch the videos. So you would get more engagement on your videos, you'd get feedback or see what other people are doing. So I think that, you have to figure out exactly how to get people engaged in your content, and how to get them sort of locked in, I guess would be the word.
How much time are you you have a full-time job, and this is something that you're kind of rolling into. How much time are you investing in your community and the time on school?
I'm trying to commit at least 30 minutes a day to it, where I feel like, that needs to be focused, where it's the groups that you like to engage with, talking with them, spending time in, other creators' communities as well as your own. Because, like I just said, he said, it's not just about you, it's about the engagement. And I'm learning, my group is so small and so new. I spent the first few months really uploading the curriculum, so I would have content there. And so now I'm at the point where I have a lot of content, I have a lot of curriculum, and now I'm looking to get the engagement part down. And so I've actually been more in other people's communities, talking to people and showing them, what I do, and, kind of networking a little bit more. And also, I thought this was cool. Somebody reached out to me and said, hey, do you want to have a little partnership where we help each other engage in each other's groups? And our groups are very aligned. It's not like, their group is about self-improvement as well in a different aspect. So, she's in my group engaging, and then I'm in her group engaging. And that's been really great, because it's like you have support. You're not going it all alone.
Yeah, that's powerful. It's something that, yes, you can find these type of individuals in other communities, as Jessica was saying. Yes, I love hanging out in other communities, meeting new people, hopping on. Sometimes they have they have a live meetup. People
Mhm.
say, oh, it's just for the community. And it's alive and it's shown right where you put a message or a post in the community. It's on purpose. No other
Mhm.
way, no other opportunities out there that you can kind of hop on someone's live or Zoom immediately.
Right.
And I think it's powerful because then you could be you're in, San Diego. I have people that I know in Australia and the UK and Ireland. The global aspect is pretty awesome too. And it's just one little click and everybody can be together.
It is. It's very powerful. I mean, when I started my chef business, which was almost 28 years ago, the internet was obviously not as big as it is now. And how I got my business was networking. I went out there and talked to people. I would go and do speaking engagements. That's why I said I've been public speaking my whole life. I would do interviews. I would get on the local news. I would send out press releases. And that's how I grew my business. And so this is a very similar way. It's just online. I mean, you get out there and, I didn't know if I'm on, the local news, I don't know who's going to be watching that. It's the same thing with this type of community. It's like, I don't know if somebody has 500 members or 1,000 members, somebody's bound to be interested in what I'm talking about.
Now, out of the 30 minutes you're doing in your day, you're doing some engagement inside your community, you're going into other communities. Are you outside of school marketing to bring people in? And if you are, what ways are you doing to do that, make that happen?
I am a little bit, and I'm always a little like shy to be over promoting my stuff. I've always come from a place of like give value. But what I'll do is, for example, like I will make something like this weekend. I made a really healing, it's called Chinese breakfast soup. It's very popular right now in the
Huh.
winter to help you lose weight. And it's very nourishing and heals your digestion. So I made that at home for myself. I put it on my stories and on my Facebook and IG stories. And, I put the video of the soup and everything. And so many people were interested in the soup. And I said, well, the recipe is in my school community. So that way, if they want the recipe, they join the community. I will also sometimes, like if I'm on a podcast or anything that's happening in my life, I do consulting for a startup here that we just launched, a really high-end clean protein bar. And so, sometimes I want to announce the highlights of what's going on in my life. I always will include my school community in that. So, I might write a post and say, I'm so excited that we just launched this new flavor, or we're just online. And, I'm really excited about what's been happening in my community as well. Or I might just post a TikTok where I give some advice. And then at the end, I'll say, if you want to learn more, join my school community. Or on a Threads, Threads is a really great way to promote your school. I only have 30 members, but I've probably gotten at least 5 or 6 from Threads, because Threads is similar to school in the way that it's sort of a more intellectual community and people are looking to learn and kind of grow and better themselves. It's not as much of a, just doom scrolling, I guess I would say. So, just using social media in a way that's I'm still giving value, but then, telling them, hey, I have a community for this if you're interested. But I could probably do it more often than I do. I'm not doing it every single post, but at least 3 or 4 times a week, I like to mention.
I want to give some value to you and those that are watching and listening. Make sure you have your school link for your community in your profile. I have taken everything out of mine on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and have my community as the only one there. A lot of people also are in school and they're like, oh, I want to add all my social channels onto school. And I'm saying, you don't want people, once they come into your community, into school, you don't want them leaving. So I took all of that out, except I have my link to my community in my profile and my YouTube channel. That's the only two things that someone can get, because it's where I want people to stay. And that's what allows people to, oh, click some more. I know some people should have a 7-day free look, the 7-day trial. There's some back and forths with that. But I
have joined a community with the 7-day free, but I ended up not staying.
Right. And that's, I'm glad you said that, because I think it's up to the owner, because I tell my affiliates, if you bring people in, your goal is to bring people in with the 7-day. My goal as the owner is I want to give them so much red carpet, the value, that they're like, damn, I got to upgrade. I got to stay here. I don't want them to leave. So that's my kind of assisting. But that's something that some people will have to, go back and forth. Should I have one, a 7-day or not? But yes, the power of driving traffic outside to school, I've seen it on schoolers. People are using YouTube channels because it's video and you have descriptions and they have the comments. A lot of Instagram and Facebook, and also school, depending on your setup, will send you people too.
I have had some people be sent to me because part of my community, so my community is based on 4 pillars: food, fitness, faith, and fasting. And the fasting part is very gentle, but it's done in a different way than most people do it. It's very much like a spiritual and new health fast. And there's a lot of people in school interested in fasting. And so I think I'm one of the few groups that talks about that. So I will get people sent to me. I'll ask people, well, how'd you find my group? And they'll say, well, I was just searching groups on fasting and yours came up. But I was going to mention, I think YouTube and school are very much aligned together. They work very well together. Sometimes what I will do is I will do like a video that I did for my community. I will post on my YouTube as like a sneak peek and say, this is something that I've done for my community. If you want more of this, then, and it allows people to see what I'm doing online as opposed to just wondering about it. So it's a little more personal that way. And I don't have a ton of YouTube subscribers. I think I'm up to like almost 1,500. It's not a ton. As you grow your YouTube, your school is naturally going to grow. I think, they grow together.
That's a good angle. Yeah. Give the insight. And those that have schools, when you do your live, either a call or a webinar, within like seconds after you are done, if you hit the record button, it shows up in your notifications that you can download and put that onto your YouTube channel, and do some editing if you want to do that, do the thumbnail. It's powerful and it gives you content that's real. And some people, I have calls that I don't record because I want to have FOMO. I want people the fear of missing out. Like, oh, why didn't you record it? Well, how come you didn't show up for it? That's my thing is if you make time for things, you should be professional and make that happen. If you don't, that's fine. Things come up. I know you have kids, this and that. Like yesterday, there was a presentation I'm always involved in. And I actually had to get a needle in my eye because I have a blood vessel that burst. So I had to get medicine in there. And I have these big goggles, like these big glasses on because my eyes were dilated. And I didn't drive. I had the car on, and because it's cold in New Jersey, and I hopped onto it because I could do it from your phone. So I hopped onto the live, got a lot of chuckles, but I'm like, look, even I had a needle in my eye a few minutes ago, and I wanted to make a point, and I committed to this as well to show, hey, if you have a time, you can always somehow get there if you can maneuver things. Making excuses, I don't want to make excuses for anything.
Yeah, one of the coaches I hired who had a school community, he did not record all of his live coaching sessions. I would say less than half of them. And if you were on them, they were so good. They'd go like an hour and a half. I mean, just tons of you couldn't even write down the information he was giving. It was so good. But then he wouldn't record them. So, even if you paid for him as a coach and were in his program, you were out of luck if you didn't show up live. So it's a little bit like it was good and bad, because then if, like you said, if you're with your kids or you're doing something, you're like, well, what am I supposed to do? But at the same time, it did make it a priority. He would have so many people on his calls. I mean, there would be like sometimes like 100 people on the call, because no one wanted to miss it. And then, he would take questions afterwards, and like you could get really good personal insight. So I think there's definitely something to that. Me with a smaller group, it's a little bit harder for me. The first coaching call I didn't post. And then I got a lot of people asking for it later. So I decided I'm going to upload it because I was wanting people to show up. But then I thought, okay, 2 weeks later, I'm going to post it. So as I have new people join, they can see, what it's all about.
That's a good angle. And you have that library, because you can go back to it. And that's good. Like 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, then all right, you missed it 3 weeks ago. I'll let you have it now.
That's exactly what I did. Yeah.
I like that. That's a great idea. Now, I've been doing this podcast. This is my 3rd year. And there are people I ask, and they're like, I don't know. I don't have the knowledge. I don't feel comfortable, blah, blah, blah. How can I help others? And if you can give me some advice for those for podcasting, how important is podcasting? Because I think it's the world. I think you can gain so much value. You don't have to be the one talking all the time. I think once in a while you should do solo episodes, to show your expertise and why people should be learning from you as well. But the gold is in your guests and bringing that value. How can we help those that are like, I don't know, just say, you know what, just do it?
Well, I think I'm a very tech person as far as like the average person goes, but the tech side of podcasting still intimidates me a little bit. So I think if we could simplify that part for people, it would be a little bit easier. I think podcasting is great. I love doing I love when I'm invited on a podcast. It's really fun because I like to talk about what I do and just talk to other people. And it's so interesting. You talk to the most interesting people. But I think also, in addition to that, people get scared to ask guests to be on their show or to talk to them. And it's funny because it's not that hard. There was a time where I was coaching chefs. I was coaching chefs on how to up-level their business, how to work with more higher end VIP clients, and how to really expand their reach. And I just decided I want to be on a podcast. So I just kind of went out there and pitched like a bunch of side hustle type podcasts. Like there's a lot of podcasts that all these really cool, interesting side hustles. And I got picked up by some really big ones, which still to this day, I mean, that was many years ago. I still to this day will get people reaching out to me about my time spent on those larger podcasts and say, hey, will you be on my podcast? It's not as big, but I would like to have you. So I think like helping people understand the reach that they're going to have, not just today, but people are going to see it forever. Kind of like that video I did on YouTube where, this is what I'm doing on my school community. It might only have, 50 views right now if I did it a few weeks ago, but then it's going to be on there forever and ever. And so it's just like a permanent commercial. I try to look at it as like a commercial or an ad, that's free marketing. So helping people understand, the tech side, simplifying that, how to reach out to people, which really is just pitching, and networking, and then helping them understand the importance of it, the reach.
Like you were saying, you have to just ask people too. Like there was a mentor that I know through a book, Building an Empire, Brian Crothers, and I know him on social media. And one day he was I always follow him, liking, commenting on his stuff. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to ask him to be on my podcast. What's the worst that's going to happen? He says, no. He goes, I would love to be on your podcast. When can we do it? And I'm like, it was that. And then when I was interviewing, we were doing our thing. And I asked him, he's like, Sean, many people don't ask. You asked me and you took a shot and I accepted. He's like, I've been in different people's shoes as their journey. You always have to give back. You always want to give opportunities to others. That's what I'm always thinking. I'm like, So I have people that just
All of
started
that.
things. They're multimillionaires. There's people that have written books. You just have to, think of, they're all human beings and they all want to help others too. So the golden is the content that you get in that conversation. It's like a little birdie that that's being recorded that you normally wouldn't get to see unless were in that room. And most people don't want you in the room. So that's how personal it can be.
And something will come out of you asking, like you could, I mean, if you ask 20 people, one of those people is going to say yes. I mean, you're not going to go, weeks, months, years of your life asking people and they're all going to say no. It's just not, you might get more no's than you get yeses. But what I've learned is you kind of get out what you put into it. So I try to go with like a little like instinct that I have. If I get a little like, worm in my ear, like you should reach out to this person or that feels good, then those are the people I reach out to. And usually, people are interested in, that they need sort of content, just like you need content. They might seem like they're so big and, they're not interested, but they're making connections just like you want to make connections.
Yeah. One episode, you can chop up a 30-minute episode. You can chop it up into like 20 plus reels or shorts. You can take this transcript. This is gold right here, guys. Take this transcript from the episode, copy the transcript, throw it into AI, ask it, can you pull 5 to 8 valuable nuggets that I can share in a blog post that you are SEO optimized, that you are pitching or promoting a community, your school community, and within seconds you have all this content you could put out into the world. And it was just one 30-minute episode that now you have content for a long time. So I tell people all the time, I did a little course inside my community about podcasting, and it's something that I think everyone can benefit from, just getting started using StreamYard. There's a lot of little tools that you can pick up to make it easier for those that are out there. Now, we could talk forever, but I know our time is limited. And I wanted to end, I always ask, is there any final thoughts that we can share about your community? I want you to pitch your community so that we can have that content, we can have that advertisement piece and help. We're here to help. We're here to grow. And I want people to know more about what you're doing.
Well, basically, my community is about finding joy, ease, and alignment in your health. I am completely like anti the hard work, discipline, restriction, overtraining, all of that stuff. I'm 50 years old. I lost over 25 pounds in my 40s. I've kept it off. I'm a chef. I don't like to restrict myself. I like to go out for treats with my kids. I like to go out to restaurants. I like to travel and enjoy myself. And I don't like to spend hours at the gym. I just don't have the time. And so, I spent years in my 30s and 40s thinking I had to restrict myself and had to work out every day. And my weight just kept going up and up. And what I've come to realize from working with hundreds of different people over the years of all different levels, all different health issues, is that if you customize your health strategy to you and your lifestyle and your preferences, and you fit in your, you have a spiritual aspect into it, and you have a customization where you're honoring your likes, you're honoring your flow, you're honoring your energy, that health is enjoyable and it's fun and it doesn't have to consume your life. And that's what my group is really about, kind of showing you those hacks and secrets on how to do that and how to make it more easeful.
Fantastic. I appreciate you for taking that time, and we'll definitely have you on and some other schoolers in the future. My goal is to get a couple people networking on a little episode, and I would love to have you come back. And I'm going to remind everyone, go to the description, have a connection call with Jessica, check out her group, join it, get involved and engage and interact, because she is somebody that wants to help and serve and continue moving forward. So I want to thank Jessica for being with us today. And
thank you for having me.
Yeah. And everyone else, Just stick around for one moment. Everyone else, we hope you have an amazing rest of your day.